All right, what's going on YouTube? What is going on Instagram? We have been live on TikTok already. So TikTok's already in the house. We've been doing a little Q&A while I got everything set up. Instagram, how is it going? Hope you guys are doing well as well. Haven't been on here in a while and had not had time to make a whole pre-PT chat live show. So I thought I'd just come on here and have a good time, chill out with y'all, answer some questions, and just make sure you're taken care of. Since it's been a while, I've been working, which is good. Busy is good. I'm a real life physical therapist, so I've been real life physical therapying. So ask any questions, ask away. What we got coming up is our money in class training. We're going to be talking all about money on April 7th. That's Sunday, April 7th. We're going to be talking all about money, debt, scholarships, side hustles, how to make money, how to think differently about money so that you can make physical therapy worth it. How many of you want to make sure that your career is worth it? How many of you want to make sure that when you're a physical therapist, you don't regret it? How many of you want to make sure that when you're a physical therapist, you make your investment financially worth it? How many of you want to make sure that when you're a physical therapist, you love your career and are making enough money from it to actually love it and not resent it? If that's you, like it was me, go to moneyinclasstraining.com, go ahead and sign up. It's free, and we'll talk all about how we can make that happen for you like we did ourselves. So Money in Class Training, April 7th, Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. If you can't make it, replay will be available. Just make sure you watch the replay. That's all I'll say about that. So that's what we got going on. And I'll put that right. Money in Class Training. There we go, right there on the screen. All right, let's see if you guys have any questions from YouTube and Instagram. Then TikTok. I see your questions here. I'll get to you guys in a second too. All right. Is it possible to transition to the military straight out of PT school after taking the board exam? I don't see why not. I'd say so. Armando, I don't see why not. Go for it, 100%. I don't see why they would not take you. I'm pretty sure you have to go through basic training and that boot camp and everything. But why wouldn't they take you, especially if you have your doctorate? I think you're going to be, don't quote me on it, an officer already. I don't know, any military people out there that can help me out with that? If you have your doctorate degree or a clinical doctorate or some education already, I think you skip a few steps possibly from what I've heard, but I'm sure you know more about that than I do. But yeah, do it. Do it. Absolutely. I'm in undergrad still, but how can I better prepare for PT school? You're an undergrad still. You need to keep your grades as high as possible in the prerequisite classes that you're taking. That's how to best prepare, because the prerequisite classes are there to see if you can handle physical therapy school. So the best way to prepare is to make sure you understand the material in the prerequisite classes, get good grades in them, and show the school that you can handle the next step, which is physical therapy school. So that's that. How and when do I start my, has a patient ever gotten sick from me working with them? I don't know. I know the other way around has happened at least twice. I know the other way around has happened where a patient has got me sick. I don't know if I've gotten a patient sick though. I can't remember that. How do I know when to start my application? So the general answer is you start applying to PT school the summer before your senior year. If you're a traditional stereotypical student, you'd start applying the summer before your senior year. Now, if you're freaking out saying, oh no, it's already passed, or it's not ready yet, or I'm not there, or I'm a career changer and all this stuff, right? That's okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it. You're fine. You're good. You can still apply to physical therapy school if you're not that stereotypical student. So if you're not that stereotypical student, you just apply when your requirements are about to be done. To keep it simple, There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. I don't have time to get into all that. If you want more help with that, go to acceptanceguides.com and get our free guides, learn more about it. Then one of our team members will reach out to you so we can get you more help. What's the main difference between PT and DPT? It's the same thing. So a physical therapist is basically a physical therapist. That's what the PT stands for. The DPT is a doctor of physical therapy. Now, when you see PT, DPT on like my white coat, oh shoot, where's my white coat? I gotta put that in my office. Where is my white coat? Might be right downstairs. Thanks for bringing that up. I got to make sure I know where it is. Where is it? Okay, I got to check that. So DPT means Doctor of Physical Therapy, and that's the degree you've received from the school. The PT in that example that I'm using means that you are licensed. You are a licensed physical therapist. So that's what it usually means. However, in general talk, they're the same thing. PT and DPT mean the same thing. In technical, educational, academia, clinician talk, DPT is like, okay, you graduated with your DPT degree. And the extra PT means that you passed your board exam. So technically, you can be a DPT, but not be a licensed physical therapist. You can pass physical therapy school, but not pass a board exam. That's technically true. So hope that helps. The military has their own PT program and take those from within. They rarely take any Civ PTs. It's called Army Baylor, only 25 students a year. That I do know. And I've heard of that, Chris. I thought they took outside PTs though. I guess not. But I did know about that. I do know about Army Baylor. Super tough to get into. It's free. It's technically free. And it's very hard to get into with those 25 spots you said. I thought they took outside clinicians though. Oh well, guess not. What's up? You're a pre-PT. Thanks for joining. Glad you're here. Ask away. How can an Indian physio get a job in Australia? I do not know. I do not know. I'm sorry. How does an Indian physio get a job in Australia? I'm not sure. You would basically take your Indian coursework and email or talk to or go to Australia and say, do my Indian requirements meet your Australian requirements to work here in Australia? They will say yes or no and direct you on the next path. But other than that, I'm not sure. I'm not from either place. Where did I go to school? I went to Andrews University. It's in Michigan. There we go. Do you only get kids when you specialize with them in PT? Do we only get kids? Like, do we only work with pediatric patients? No. Pediatric patients, children under or people under 18 can go to any PT clinic. So no, we have 1, 2, 3 under 18 children technically at the clinic I mainly work at right now. And then they just came in. Parents do their paperwork, all the stuff. So they're not like infants. They don't have like cerebral palsy. Well, keep that. But to answer your question, yeah, you can see pediatric patients in a non-pediatric specialty clinic. Is the return of investment worth it? I got 32K in debt and wondering if DPT is the route. So here's what you have to keep in mind with the debt, if the debt is worth it. So Cali Smooth, go to moneyinclasstraining.com because we're going to talk all about this to make it worth it, right? That's what everything's going to be about. April 7th, just go there, moneyinclasstraining.com, that you see right there. TikTok, if you don't see it, go to YouTube or go to Instagram. But the is it worth it question depends on how much you're taking out for PT school and how much you plan on making as a physical therapist. Because that's like me saying, for you, is buying a house worth it? I don't know. Is going on vacation worth it? Is buying anything worth it? Is doing anything worth it? Is you being on this live stream worth it? I don't know. Are you going to make it worth it? Are you going to make PT school worth it? Or are you going to go to a school that's 250K, add on 32K of debt to that from undergrad, and make 60 grand on average as a physical therapist for the rest of your career? I don't know what you're going to do. If that's what you're going to do, though, that example, then it's not worth it. However, if you do another example, go to a school that's 45K, you got 32K from undergrad, that's, let's just say 75K, give or take, total. And let's just say you work home health, travel, you got a side hustle, you open your own business, you're hustling, you keep your expenses low, all that stuff, right? and you end up averaging $135,000 on average for the rest of your career for the next 30 years. Okay? That 75K in debt is basically a 2x return on your investment. 75K, and you make 135K throughout the rest of your career. That's a 2x return on your investment. Yes, it's a simple example. I get it. But that's how you got to think about it. Are you going to make it worth it? Because it's a math problem. It's not like, oh, is PT going to be worth it? I don't know. Is being a truck driver going to be worth it if you just switch careers? I don't know. Is being a personal trainer going to be worth it with 32K in debt? I don't know. Are you going to make it worth it? That's the real question. So if you want to make it worth it, go to moneyinclasstraining.com. We're going to be talking about how to do that on April 7th. It's a Sunday. How many observation hours would you recommend students get before applying to PT school? However many that you need. Some schools require 10. Some schools require 300. So it just depends on what's required. You got it. You're welcome. Dr. Nav, you're welcome. Cali Smooth. TikTok, where did you go to PT school? Andrews University. Can you go to PT school with any undergrad degree? Yes, you can. You definitely can, 100%. The major does not matter. What's the average income of physical therapists in your country? I think overall, averaging everything is 86,000, 87,000, something in there. Do you have techs at your clinic? Yes, we do. We have 2 of them. How do you prepare for DPT interviews? So you just prepare for normal interview questions. So like, why are you choosing this school? Why do you want to be a physical therapist? Tell me about yourself. What are your strengths and weaknesses? All that stuff, right? Other than that, how I like to tell our clients is to prepare like you are interviewing them. Just as many questions as you have for me, ask them the same questions. Be respectful and everything. But go in there with some questions like, I'm about to spend 50K on y'all, 100K on y'all. If you think about it like that, you are the customer, you're going to have some questions. So go in there thinking respectfully, humbly, go in there saying, I'm the customer. If I'm spending this amount of money on you, PT school, I want to know blank. What do you want to know? That's how I'd prepare for PT school interviews now. With all the coaching I've given, with being in this industry, with coaching students, being a physical therapist, for over doing this, coaching pre-PTs for over 7 years, a physical therapist over 5 years. Go in there saying, what am I getting? What do I want? Because I am the customer. Everything else will take care of itself. Thoughts on occupational therapy? I think it's fine. I think it's great. No big thoughts on OT. I think they're great though. Hybrid programs, if I was to do it all over again, personally, I would do a hybrid program, but that's how I like to operate. That's how I would thrive. If that's not how you would thrive, don't do it. That's how I would thrive. But I like them. Hybrid programs, I like them if you can handle it. I was working at ATI. I hear a lot of negative experiences from the PTs I work for. Yeah, I can only speak for the clinic I've been at. So the clinic I've been at is fine. It's normal. It's just any normal clinic. We have a good time. We laugh. Patients love us. They bring us treats. They bring us food like any other PT clinic. So I don't know. That's all I can really speak on. And it's fine. It's great. I don't really have big complaints. People complain about everything though. So I understand their complaints though about ATI. Like, oh, it's a mill. Oh, their stock has crashed. Oh, blah, blah, blah. They're the scum of the earth. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. I understand where they're coming from. However, I also understand the business perspective of it. Because ATI is a business. And the employees complaining or other outside employees complaining about it are employees or people who just like to complain and are not offering solutions. So I can go into a whole rant about it, but let's just keep it at, I understand both perspectives. However, all I can speak on is the ATI I work at and I have worked at, and it's been fine. It's just a normal clinic. I don't know what everybody's all up their butts about. It's just a physical therapy clinic. So I hope that helps. If you have any follow-up questions, just let me know. Average income of physical therapist, $86,000. Thank you for sharing the live stream, Edgar. Appreciate you. What do you think of going the PTA? Oh, wait. What do you think of starting with PT school or PTA school if you're not accepted? Don't do it. Just go PT if you really want to do PT. Just go PT if you really want to do PT, even if you're rejected, because going the PTA route will just take you more time and more money. If you really want to be a PTA, just be a PTA. If you really want to be a PT, be a PT. But stopping and starting and going another route, then coming back, it's just going to take you more time and money. Do professional sports PTs make more than other PTs? I don't think so. Not that I've heard. I've never been a sports PT for a team, but I've heard that it's not much different, if not technically less, because they're working more than regular PTs. I don't know for sure. I've never been a sports PT, but that's what I've heard through just podcasts and conversations and online communities. I got my undergrad degree in exercise science. If I did not get into a DPT program, what do you suggest I do? Get help. Go to acceptedsystem.com and get help from us. What's the best way to save money during the whole schooling process? Don't spend and make more money. I'll elaborate, but those are the easy answers, right? So your first question was best, if you don't get into PT school, what do? You get help from professionals like us to get you back into school, because that's what we do, or to get you accepted into school, because that's what we do. But basically, you need to audit what went wrong. Like, why didn't you get into school? What is the root cause of your problem? You can say, oh, I had a low GPA, that's why they didn't accept me. Well, what is the root cause of your low GPA? We can find that. If we can find that, then we can make a plan around it to improve that GPA to then get you accepted into PT school and all that stuff. A lot more details to it, but we need to find the root cause of it. Then the best way to save money, obviously don't spend, but there's only so much you can cut, right? You need stuff in life. So make more money is the best way to do it. And we'll be teaching you how to do that at moneyinclasstraining.com on April 7th. So go sign up there, learn about how to make more money, moneyinclasstraining.com. Everything will be taken care of. Do PTs make more money up north? Possibly. I think it more so depends on state. If you go to updocmedia.com and look at their job market pulse, they break that down state by state. So I don't know if it's technically you get paid more if you're in a northern state versus a southern state, but I'm trying to think of their map. I'm trying to visualize their map, and it's more so different states. Basically, well, I don't want to say that, but it just depends on the state. Do PTAs make a lot less than physical therapists? On average, I think they make 20 to 25K less than PTs. So, of course, there's going to be PTAs that make a lot. There's going to be PTAs that make a little. There's PTAs that work their butt off and make a lot, and PTAs that do the bare minimum and don't make anything, right? But on average, let's just say the physical therapists and the PTAs work the same amount of hours and in the same clinic. In that specific example, the PTs versus PTAs, the PTs would make like 20 to 25 grand more. Now, if you take a PT that works in Florida at a run-of-the-mill clinic versus a PTA that works in a home health travel contract in California, then a PTA might make just as much, if not more, than a staff PT in an outpatient clinic in Florida, right? So that's where the discrepancy comes in. But if everything was equal, it'd be about a 20 to 25 grand difference, if not more. Which is better for sports injuries for the elderly? Tell me more. I'd be glad to help, but tell me more about that. Sports injuries for the elderly. What were they, dunking on some people or something? What's going on with grandma and grandpa? Even if you get the company you work with to match half for going back to school for PTA. I would just stick with the PT route. If you want to do PT, go PT. If you want to go PTA, go PTA. The company match and paying back, it gets a little tricky, and I don't know what you're locked into. So like, okay, the company is going to match or pay half of your student loans for whichever PT or PTA. What is the catch? What do they want from you? How long are you locked in? How much are they paying you versus paying your loans, right? That's it's just stuff we gotta tweeze out. What is the catch? Thank you for all your positivity and guidance. Good stuff. Diane, tell all the pre-PTs you ever know and will know about us so we can help them just like we help you. But make sure you celebrate. Make sure you celebrate. What's the average income for physical therapists in our country? I think you asked that. I think I got you already. It's around $86,000 on average for everything. Oh, the questions are coming in. How do you improve your GPA after graduation? So you take or retake classes at a community college or the same college that you left. Hey, where's everybody coming from? Everybody's hopping on. That's what's up, bud. Thanks for joining. State school saves money. It does. It does save money. Is the undergraduate course rigorous, or should you be able to balance it with a part-time job? I worked all through undergrad and PT school, so as long as your jobs revolve around your priority of school, then you're fine. Cost of living influences more than salary. Yes. Yes, I can agree with that. Yes. Helping some PTs do a study on BFR and pain thresholds. Really cool stuff. Nice. I've heard some good stuff about BFR. Good side hustles for physical therapists. So the first one would be something that you already know how to do, which is physical therapy, right? So your first side hustle could be treating patients on your own or through another company on the side or on the weekends or on your days off, right? So that would be the best side hustle, something you're already good at and you know how to do. It's the easiest, fastest thing. The next best side hustle for physical therapists would be something you individually like and know how to do. So let's just say you like playing drums and you were good at it and you've been playing it since you were 12 years old, like me. Then your side hustle could be drum lessons or playing drums on YouTube and doing covers and getting paid by YouTube. But it has to be, from what I've seen coaching students with making money since 2018, it's much better to do something that you're already good at or something that you already like to do. If not, it is just an uphill battle and it's just a drag because you have to learn business and learn a new skill on top of that. Oh, absolutely not. It just does not work. So start with what the skill you paid for, your physical therapy skills, then go to the skill that you like to do or that you're already good at doing. Are PTs allowed to have visible tattoos? Yeah. Oh, neck tattoos? Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. What did you do to get experience for observation hours? You just go to a clinic or hospital and say, I need hours. How does this process work? That's really it. Do PTs make more money than assistant or strength and conditioning coaches from professional sports teams, for example, Lakers or Dodgers? So you're asking, does a PT who works for the Dodgers make more money than a strength and conditioning coach who works for the Dodgers? I do not know. I would assume no. I would assume they make around the same, if not the same. But every person I know or know of who is in that industry is either an athletic trainer, physical therapist, or both, or they have both degrees. So they might be a strength and conditioning coach, but also be an athletic trainer, right? And have that degree, or a strength and conditioning coach, but also a physical therapist, right? Something like that. But I would assume they make somewhere similar to the same salary. I don't know for sure though. How much can you work on a patient after a fresh surgery? As much as they can tolerate. Some patients can tolerate, simple bed exercises. Some patients can only tolerate ice and education and a good talking to and some motivation. Some patients can get on the bike, right? And get the knee bending and extending through revolutions on the bike. So it depends on the patient. and how in shape or not in shape and how much pain, how much painkillers they're on, and so on and so forth. But just play it by ear, finesse it a little bit. What did you do to prepare for PT school? Nothing. I lived life. I went and made money. I went on vacation. I lived life. There was nothing. I didn't watch a certain anatomy video. What I wish I did was learn how I best learned. But there was no anatomy book I read. There was no anatomy YouTube videos that I did. There was nothing special I did to prepare. I understand where you're coming from, but you should learn how you best learn. Study how to study if you're going to do anything. But don't go passively have some YouTube video about anatomy in the background while you're scrolling TikTok. I'd rather you go on vacation. Go on vacation or get a side hustle and start a job. Don't try and half-ass study anatomy. Definitely not. Easy side hustle. Review insurance claims for $50 to $70 an hour. Well, there you go. There's another side hustle. Review insurance claims for $50 to $70 an hour. However that gets started, or however you sign up for that. But if you can find it, yeah, get that money. However you need to get money. Can any PT become a pediatric PT? Yes, they can. I've been out of clinic. Been an outpatient clinic for a year and a half, wondering if variability hours. Ask that again. Not sure what your name is, but ask that again. I'll be happy to help. Speaking about side hustles, if I obtain a dry needling certification after my licensure exam, and knowing some states want you to be an acupuncturist, can I practice in those states as a side job? So you're saying, can you have a side hustle being an acupuncturist if you have a dry needling certification? I'm not sure how the legalities work. Maybe you'll have to be a licensed acupuncturist, but I get what you're saying. And yes, if you want to use your dry needling or acupuncture skills as a side hustle to make extra cash, of course, go make that money. Of course. I don't know how the legalities work. If you're certified in dry needling, can you say you're an acupuncturist? I don't know. But if you have the skill and all the paperwork and stuff works out, of course. What's the highest PT can make in the US? How is that achievable? So you're asking about salary jobs. The highest PT that I've seen recently, the highest setting is a early intervention pediatric physical therapist. That's the highest paying setting that I've seen from UpDoc Media. Other than that, if you own a practice or own a business, of course, the pay is unlimited because you own the business and you own the profits and all that stuff, right? Other than that, it's home health pediatric therapist, then travel, but travel is kind of a hodgepodge term because you can travel in different settings. Then home health and some private practices, depending on how that pay structure is. Are you required to stay in shape as a PT? No, you don't have to stay in shape. What's pros and cons for travel PT? Pros is that you make more money. Cons is that they can cut your contract at any time, depending on what's in the contract, and you have to travel to places you might not like all the time. How long is it normal for a person to be a PT? I don't know the average time someone's a PT. I don't know, 15 years, 20 years, 10 years, 30 years. I don't know. That's a good question, though. I got to find out. If you find out, let me know, though. Does different hour experience make you look better versus how long you've been somewhere? No, just get your hours. You don't really need special hours from here and special hours from there unless they specifically ask for it. If they specifically say, we want random specialty hours from all these 4 different places, then you get those. But if not, just get the hours, call it a day. observation hours are not as important as you think they are. What do you think about PTA? I think it's fine. Go be a PTA, 100%. Nothing wrong with it. Do specific kinds of PTs offer more money, like pelvic floor, and how would I get into that niche? So if you want to get into any niche or any setting as a PT, you just apply for a job in that setting. The best way to do it is while you're in school, try to get a clinical rotation, like talk to your professors while you're in school and say, I really want to be a pelvic PT, or I really want to be a sports PT, or I really want to be a pelvic or pediatric PT, right? Then you can connect with your clinical education instructor person and see what those requirements are to make that happen. Will you have to find the clinic? Will they have to help you find it? What's happening there? Then you can find a clinical rotation at one of those settings that you want to go to. And from there, they will know other people and they will know you, and then they connect you with people, or they will just hire you at that clinic if they need someone. But that's what I would do. Start in school and see if you can get a clinical rotation at or with a specialty you want to work in. If not, then you just come out as a general physical therapist and you just say, hey, I want to work with pediatrics, or I want to work in pelvic health. You just apply for those jobs specifically. That's all. No residency is required. No extra classes are required. You might want to take them to feel more confident, but they're not required. Dual degree. Do I recommend a dual degree? No, you don't need a dual degree. Does more experience as a PT increase your pay? Technically, it will, but it doesn't always have to. Technically, yeah. Like the longer you've been somewhere, they're just going to give you like small raises, but it might be a 3% raise or a 2% raise. It's not going to be like, oh, you've reached 5 years and now you get a 25% raise. No, you got to make that happen for yourself. It'll be like, congratulations, you've been with us for another year. Here's a 2% raise that you don't even feel. So yes and no. I'm a junior in high school. What are some things you recommend doing right now? I recommend doing right now is going to acceptanceguides.com and getting our free guide so you know what this whole process is about, so you know what you're getting into. Other than that, I'd compare and contrast all other professions that you're interested in to physical therapy to make sure you really want to do PT or not. Do you get paid for internships? No. No, sorry. Observation hours, no. Internships, you might, depending on the internship. There was a pharmacy internship I did, and there was a stipend of like $2,500, but that's a specific internship. Observation hours, no. Thanks for following, Charles. Took 15 years to be a DPT? No, it doesn't take 15 years to be a DPT. Oh, wait. 15 years as 15 years. Let me know. Let me know what you mean by that. PTs have some of the worst ROI in the health professions. Spare yourself. Go to moneyinclasstraining.com and sign up for our money class on April 7th. And we'll be talking about money, ROIs. Does PT suck? Should you spare yourself? Should you not? What is Vern talking about? Why does he think that way or her that way? What is all this money stuff about? Why am I being scared? Why am I not being scared? Should I worry about this? Should I not? Go to moneyinclasstraining.com. We're going to talk all about money. So yeah, but the ROI is dependent on how much you pay for school, just like how much you pay for anything else, and how much you make from that investment. So if Vern is saying, oh, it's not worth it, spare yourself. Well, how much did you pay for school? If you paid 40 grand for PT school in total, and you end up making 120K on average for the rest of your career, that's a 3x return on your investment. So why would you spare yourself, Vern, from a 3x return on your investment? Spare yourself? I don't know. However, if you go to a school that's 250K and you have 30K in undergrad loans, so you have 280K, but you end up making $75,000 as a PT for the rest of your career, then yeah, spare yourself and listen to Vern. But don't just blindly listen to Vern and be scared. That's all I'm saying. What's most important when applying to PT school? GPA is the most important. Absolutely 100%. Is it hard to get into PT school if you couldn't get into a 3+3 program? No, you can still get into a 3+3 program. or sorry, you can still get into PT school outside of a 3+3 program. Many of our clients have done it. I've done it. A majority of people do not go through a 3+3 program. So you'll be just fine. It's hard to get so far I want to be a DPT, but the tuition would be $158K. Should I do PTA instead? Sure, if the numbers don't match for you, D, do something else. If the numbers don't add up for you, do something else. Do PTA, go drive a truck, go do HR, do anything else you want to do if the numbers don't add up for you. I would say the same thing if you wanted to be a physician. If the numbers didn't add up and you're like, I'm going to be $2 million in debt and make 300K as a physician, and it didn't add up for you, don't be a physician. It's just a math problem. Do the numbers add up or not? Just don't be scared. Just don't blindly listen to people and say, it's not worth it. Spare yourself. Like, just think about it. For your specific situation, does it make sense? Should you spare yourself or not? I don't know what your situation is. What are your numbers? If they make sense, be a PT. If it doesn't make sense, do something else. I'm a kines major right now, but my grades ain't the best. Can I still get into PT school? You can, but you do need to improve your grades. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or anything. If you have like a 2.3, that's not a horrible place to start, but it could be better. And you're probably not going to get into PT school if you stay at a 2.3. You can come from a 2.3, but you probably won't get in staying at a 2.3. Hope that makes sense. Instagram is asking, what's a 3+3 program? So it's a freshman acceptance program, and it's basically like what's it called? A filter program into their DPT school. So they're saying, hey, stay here for PT school. We want more customers. So since you're a freshman and you want to be a physical therapist, if you meet these requirements, we'll just get you right into PT school so you can pay our PT school more money. Just like if you go to a concert and the concert's like, hey, here's some VIP tickets, just $100 more. They just want you to upgrade as a customer. So the PT school is saying, hey, we have another degree here you can get. Upgrade to our PT school if you meet these standards. And that's what a 3+3 program is. What should I major in? Anything, whatever the easiest major is at your school, whether it's communications, exercise science, kinesiology, frisbee golf, economics, cooking classes, I don't care what it is, whatever the easiest major is at your institution, do that. Where are we at here? What do you think is a good GPA? 3.4 or above. What's the most important when applying for PT school? GPA is the most important. Would I struggle in PT school if I had a communications degree with just the PT prereqs? No, you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. You are A-okay. That's my issue, my grades. That's why I got to lock in this summer. Hey, let's go. Lock in. What would I need to do if my grades aren't that good in undergrad but want to be a DPT? You get professional help from us. So go to acceptanceguides.com, get our acceptance guides, then our team will reach out to you so we know how to help you best with all of our free resources and paid resources. So you get professional help. The other thing you can start doing is making sure you learn how you best learn. How do you best absorb information? Do you understand how people learn? Or are you just passively reading and studying and hoping your grades will get better? Or do you have a strategic system to get your grades better? That would be the next step. So you would learn how you best learn. What's the average price for PT school? Ooh, I don't know right off the top. I know the lowest PT school is Georgia Southern. That's $35K in total, not per year, but in total. The most expensive school, I believe, is USC or New York Institute of Technology. They're around $220 or $250K. So it ranges between $35K and $250K. So that's why I was saying, is PT school worth it? Well, I don't know what kind of PT school you're buying. Is the $35K worth it? Yes, of course. Is the $250K school worth it? I don't know. It's just like a house or a car, right? So that's the range of school prices. Somebody can do the math on what the average of that is. Am I too old to be a physical therapist? If you think you're too old, then you're too old. If you think you're not too old, then you're not too old. But our oldest client is 52 or was 52. And someone in my PT class was 42. So it's whatever you think you are. Observe in an office or a hospital. You can do both. Why not? I'm a freshman in high school. What advice do you have? Research every other profession out there and get our acceptance guides. Go to acceptanceguides.com so you can see what becoming a PT is all about and what it takes. Then compare and contrast every other profession to PT and say, is this what I really want to do? Or should I do something else? If you want to be a PTA, go be a PTA. If you're a stay-at-home, I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom, a truck driver, an astronaut, I don't care. If you want to be a PTA and you're 44, then be a PTA. We only got one life. We only got one life. Don't wake up when you're 64 and say, oh, I wish I would have been a PTA, but I had kids and I was a stay-at-home mom and I was 44 and I just didn't know. No. Be selfish. Partially tore my left rotator cuff and had to rehab it. Then hey, go for it. Go for it. Georgia Southern, last time I checked, was $35,000 in total. I believe that was in-state tuition, though. Pretty sure it was in-state tuition. As a part-time powerlifter, Mad Max, go be a PT. Does your medical dental school matter when trying to match for residency? I'm not an expert in medical school or dental school. I'm an expert in PT school, physical therapy school. So I am not sure. I assume that it does, though. I assume that it does. There's a lot of medical school and dental school advice people out there, I'm sure, but I don't know. Can you get a letter of rec? Can you get one? Like, can you? Yeah, you just ask the people who you. Oh, you're asking me. Oh, I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're asking me or just asking in general. Like, can you get a letter of recommendation from me? I don't know who you are. But can you get one in general? Sure. You just ask the person. What should I expect during the interview process? Just regular questions. They're just going to try and get to know you. They just want to know, are they making a correct, safe decision with you? So just a conversation, unless they give you any more details, but it's just a conversation. This is an interview. Wrist has been hurting for more than a week from snowboarding. What do you do? I would just evaluate you and see what the problem is. But I don't know. I don't know where your wrist is hurting, how it's hurting, why it's hurting, if you fell, if it's frostbite or if it's a fracture. I have no idea. So I don't know. I don't know what you should do because I don't know really what's going on. You're asking me for a letter of recommendation. I don't think that would work too well because all I know is that your name is Minecraft and you have an anime profile pic. So that would be a no for me. Right now, that would be a no for me. The only people I write letters of recommendations for are our clients in our coaching program who I've known for at least 6 months or longer. And I can vouch for them. But, you got an anime picture and I don't know you. So it's kind of hard. I appreciate the ask, though. I'm honored. I appreciate the ask. Any tips for stabilizing the shoulder after dislocating it? I would need to assess which muscles are not firing correctly, turn them back on. But anything closed chained, I like closed chain exercises for dislocations. DBTs mostly work on charting instead of working on patients. So if you've ever seen my vlogs, and I have a whole vlog playlist here on TikTok, you will see me, a physical therapist, literally working on patients every day. So for the past 14 days straight, I've worked on patients every single day. I did some charting, yes, but I've worked on patients. Even on weekends, I literally have my hands on patients. Is it true you'll give me $10 for a letter of recommendation? That's it? Come on. I'm worth more than $10. Trevor, come on now. I got my whole DBT degree. And I don't need to rattle off my credentials to you. Do you feel well compensated for your job? Two answers to that. I do and I don't. I do and I don't. So why I say two answers to that is because I don't feel compensated because everyone wants to get paid more, right? Because you want to live life and do stuff. And everyone deserves to get paid more because you're priceless and all that stuff or whatever, right? Whatever they tell you. So that's why I would say, no, I'm not well compensated because of course I would want to make $3,000 an hour. Duh. Of course. However, I understand the opposite side of it, the business side of it. And when you understand the business side of it and the profit margins and the expenses from a business, then you start to be like, oh, well, I am compensated well. Because as an employee, you don't have any of the risks. You don't have any of the bigger taxes. Yes, you have income taxes, but you don't have any of the bigger taxes. You don't have any of the expenses. You don't have any of the marketing problems. You don't have any risk if the business goes under. But many employees don't think about that. They're just like, I want to get paid more. Pay me more. Pay me. Wah, 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 wah. And the business is like, F you. Why? Pay you more for what? Me, a business owner, is struggling too. Most of the time, unless it's like a huge corporation, right? And even the corporations be struggling sometimes. But the employee doesn't see that. And the business corporation people don't always see the employee side either. So it's easy just to point fingers and say, yes, I want to get paid more. I'm not compensated fairly. But if you have a balanced perspective on this, then you can argue that you are getting paid fairly because your pay is reflective on the value that you give patients or the business that you work for. So if you want to get paid more, then make the business more money or give the patients, if you're in a private practice, better results to pay you more. That's it. Simple as that. I plan on applying this summer. Anything you can start putting together right now, everything except your essays, your letters of recommendation, any payments, and any program-specific information. Anything else you can get started on now. You should finish your prerequisite classes first. Don't rush it and try to apply early access. Just finish your prerequisite classes first. Closed chain means like your hand is on the table. So for shoulder exercises means your hand is on something. So like push-ups is a closed chain exercise. Upper extremity weight shifts are a closed chain exercise. Like stuff with your hand on a wall or on a surface or on a table or on the floor. I was an exercise science major. No, more work experience does not make up for poor grades. It does not. You got into CSUN? Well, give us a review, give us a testimonial, DM us, give us a written review somewhere, and enjoy, celebrate, and tell all the pre-PTs you ever come in contact with about us. But have fun. Do you plan to own your own practice? If you've seen my recent vlog, technically I already have one. I don't have any clients yet, but technically it's ready. Where are we at? Do PTAs have more freedom schedule-wise? I understand your question, but no, it's the same. Do PTs get paid weekly or bi-weekly? It depends on what job you take. Do I have a chance with the 3.4? You have a chance. I don't know what the rest of your application looks like, but you do have a chance. All right. What is the process of opening a private practice? You get your LLC, you get your EIN number, you get a location, and then you start marketing and trying to get customers. So you just register your business with the federal government, basically. You find a location, whether it's a location that you like or somebody's home, and you start saying, hey, I can help you with this. Come see me, to keep it simple. That's the process, literally. I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but you register your business with the government and you find a place where you want to treat people and say, hey, want to pay me money for me to help your knee pain? That's literally I'm not trying to joke, honestly. That's literally how you can do it. You can make it more complicated, but that's literally how you do it. How hard is it to get into a public school? Depends on your GPA, but it's difficult. It could be like 600 applicants to 40, 50 seats. On average, I know on average, it's 11 to 12% acceptance rate per school. How's YouTube doing? We good? Yeah, we good. Any resources to get a jump start before undergrad? So I'm kind of hesitant to say get a head start on learning anatomy because I don't know how you guys learn. Because I don't want to say, oh yeah, read this book, but then you read the book in a shitty fashion. Then you say, oh, Casey told me to read this book and it didn't help. Well, you didn't really study the book. You just opened it while YouTube was in the background. No, then don't read the book. Go make some money this summer and wait till school starts to start studying. So that's my hesitation with it. But if I had to tell you anything, it would be learn how to study so that when you start class, you are able to learn the information quickly and absorb it quickly and get an A. So I don't recommend any anatomy books. I recommend you go watch how to study videos on YouTube. You go read some study material books. You go learn active recall techniques. That's what I recommend. Improving GPA after graduation, taking prereqs through CCs to improve. Yeah, that's what you're going to do, but you have to make sure you get an A in that class, right? So my question is, why did you have a low GPA in the first place? And are you fixing the root cause of that low GPA problem? Or are you just like, I need to take another prereq to get my grades up? Then you take another prereq, you pay for it, but your grades didn't improve because you did not fix the root problem that caused your low GPA. So you need to find the root cause of the problem that caused your low GPA. Would a massage therapist be a good backup plan? I mean, sure, I guess it can make you money. A good backup plan. I know what you mean, but yeah, I guess it can be. How much do you get paid if you're a travel PT? It depends on the contract. It could be $1,500 a week to $2,800 a week, depending on the location. If you're going to Alaska, it's going to be like, I don't know, $2,800 a week. If you're in Florida, it might be $1,600 a week. It takes 6 to 7 years to become a PT. Travel PT as a new grad, go make your money. I don't care who's scaring you to say don't be a travel PT. If you want to be a travel PT as a new grad, go be a travel PT. I graduate this May. We'll be working as an aide. Cool, good stuff. What do I think of athletic trainers? I think they're fine. Go be an athletic trainer. Absolutely. Daughter is starting her undergrad this coming fall. Good stuff. Yeah, get her on that studying stuff. Don't tell her to read some anatomy book and she's just watching TikTok in the background. Then what's the point of an anatomy book? You can have her go like follow some TikTok people who give studying advice. There's a bunch of TikTok people who give like studying productivity help hacks, short videos. I'd rather her do that than you try and force her to read an anatomy book. No. Undergrad student staying in Turkey. What's up? What's up in Turkey? How hard is the NPTE? Is very frustrating. Very frustrating. Acute care, clinical advice. Go in with an open mind. Go in with a good attitude. Take constructive feedback and wear some good shoes that you can stand a long time in. Wear some good shoes. How does anatomy and physiology during undergrad different from grad school? It's like 100 times more intense in grad school. 100 times more intense in grad school. Yeah. All right. Moneyandclasstraining.com. We'll see you there. Take care. See you soon. 6 times to retake the NPTE. All right. See y'all. Oh, YouTube. What is the downfall to take prereqs online? You just don't know if they'll accept them, right? I don't want you to take anatomy online. Then you apply to PT school and they're like, oh, nope, you can't apply. And you didn't know that. Now you wasted a year and wasted money. and wasted effort on that class that's not accepted? Absolutely not. No. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next live stream.